So here's the tutorial. Don't pay attention to this first program we have open here. This is just what I'm using to record the audio. So step one is to open your GarageBand, obviously. So move down to your Launchpad here, find GarageBand and open it up. Wait for it to open. Okay, so right now it's opening a past project I have, which it will probably do for you every time as well. So just remember, if it does that and it opens it and you see what you recorded last week, just go up here to File and New. And that's going to open up this hopefully familiar looking page at this point. And you're going to go down here and click on the voice button. And click on that. Now we're back to the page that you're probably used to here, narration vocal. So let's say you're all good to go and ready to record your podcast. So next step here, after you open the program, would be to just start recording. So let's pretend like we're recording the podcast. So to start the recording, you're going to go up to this red button. The red button, if you hold over it, you can see that it says record. Or you can just click the R button. But let's get used to just going up here and click this button. So click the red button and you're recording the podcast. Blah, 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 blah. This is my podcast. I'm recording it. And I'm all done with my podcast now. So now I'm going to hit stop. This button right up here. Stop. And now the playhead stops moving and the recording stops. If you take this bar up in the top right hand corner, you can zoom all the way out to see what it looks like. And right there would be your recording. So once you have that recording in, you're going to have to drop your intro and outro in, which I placed on your desktop at home. I also placed them on my own desktop on this computer, so just for the sake of it getting less confusing during this tutorial. So what you're going to do next is you're going to go down here to where your dock opens up and go to your Finder. Click Finder. Now you're going to run to your desktop, right there, and then find the podcast intro and outro, which I believe are just free floating on your desktop. So now I'm going to grab, we'll do one at a time here. Remember the drag and drop thing? You're going to click on the intro, hold the click, so keep that finger on the clicker, and then drag it over here. Drop it in the next track down, just like that. And there's your intro. Obviously, when you record your podcast, it's going to be a lot longer than this right here. But just for the tutorial's sake, I'm just going to place it there. But, okay, so once you throw the intro in, it should place it right in the front. So you shouldn't have to move the intro at all. Then you can just move your recording to start at the end of the intro. See how when this ends, this begins. Two different tracks, but it's all playing in the same timeline. So once you have your intro in there and you move the recording down to the end of the intro, go back to your Finder, find the outro. That is on your desktop as well. Right here. Click it, hold the click, drag it over to the next track down, and drop it. And there it is. And you can just position this so that it starts right about when the podcast ends, like that. So now we have the intro in the podcast and the outro down here. Once you have that all placed in there and the recording's all done, you should be all good to go. So then you're just gonna, I usually like to just zoom out all the way to make sure that it's all there. And then go, let's say you're all done and ready to export, which you should be all done at this point. Go ahead and go to the share button up top and down to export song to disk. Wait for that to load. And under save as, title it whatever you want it to be. I'm going to call it just test tutorial for now. But yeah, you could put there like episode 3 trust, or whatever you want the episode title to be. Then navigate to your desktop again over on the left side. Find your your exported projects folder that I made for you, or exported podcasts, sorry. Make sure that folder is selected, and make sure that this down here says WAV. Actually, mine said AAC, which is very surprising, but yours, I'm pretty sure, will say WAV for the most part, but just go ahead and make sure it says WAV before you export. Should say uncompressed 16-bit, and then go ahead and click export down in the right hand corner here. It's going to run through the whole thing. And once the loading bar is done, go down to your Finder, go to that exported podcast folder, and there it is. Next up, I guess, would be to go onto your internet and go to your SoundCloud. Looks like I'm already signed in to you from last week, but which you should already be signed in as well, but if not, go ahead and sign in, and then go up to the upload button up here, choose files to upload, back to the desktop, exported podcasts, and there would be your episode you want to upload, and you can just click open, and it's going to start uploading it. So here is where the title would come up. If you want to make any changes on that, you can make that there. Select your genre. I usually say custom and then write podcast. Any tags, that's like the hashtag thing. So like podcast, hell, stuff like that. And then just a quick little description of what the episode is about this week, right in this area. After that, make sure it's set to public, and then just go ahead and click save. And that's going to make it, that's going to post it on your SoundCloud and automatically post it on to Spotify as well. So once you do this, you should be all done. I think that's everything you need to know. If there's anything else, any other questions, obviously let me know.